Hello, this is going to be a tutorial about maps. At this moment, I'm going to tell you what a map is. A map is a new ES6, I guess object. And what a map is pretty much like an object literal and array combined. You know how object literals have the ability to have key value pairs, meaning you set a key and then you put in a value, whatever the value is. It could be a string, it could be a number, it could be, I don't know, a Boolean, anything. Like if you don't know what a Boolean is, like true or false. So let me just start off with example one and tell you that we're only going to just show Map.set and Map.get. And what Map.set is it sets the key value pairs. The first parameter is the key, and with it, you can put, like I said before, you can put any type of data type. And with the value, you could put any type of data type too. But in these two Map.sets, I put strings. Now, when you look at the browser, you see default. And if you go all the way up here, you see default. But the thing is, when I do Map.get, hold on here, and I actually already created a function here called view this, which is going to output the value of the maps whenever I give it Map.get. So first thing, let me just call view this. And with view this, and I use Map.get, all I have to do is just put in the value, and that means right here, let's just put in the first one, which is 0, and I save this. With view this, it contacts the document, it looks for the element that has the ID of view, and it passes in the value into that ID. So at this moment it has default, but if I reload it, it has value. And the reason is because I passed in the key, which is this 0, and it outputted the value when you do Map.get. Same thing if you do tiger. So let me do tiger here. I saved it. I think I saved it. And let me reload it. And Tony the tiger, because when I put tiger, the value is Tony the tiger. So let me comment this out and go to the next example. Boom, boom. Okay. So let's see, second example. Okay, like I was saying earlier, you can put different data types. So in this example, an additional key that I gave was a Boolean, which is false. So I will do view this again, do the view this function, which is going to output the value into the element that has the ID of view. So if I just put false, save it, reload it, it's going to, wait. Oh shit. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to put Map.get. I'm sorry, my guy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that my guy. I'm supposed to put Map.get. I'm sorry. I was like, what? What's going on? So let me see here. Let's put false again and reload it. This is a Boolean key. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Cool beans. So let's go down to the next example. And what we're going to do is we see another set of values, which is 0. And I made sure I added another 0 to make a point here. So you can add an same key, but the thing is, this key is going to override the previous key. So since the first key was 0 and has value, and the last one I have 0 again, what's going to happen is it's going to override this 0 and put in the new value. So once I use view this again, which is going to look for the ID of view and pass in the value, let's put 0 again, you will see second value. You don't get value and second value, you just get second value. And you can actually see that if I use a function that I already created up here. This is called list values. What list values does is it creates a string and then it goes through all the map values and basically appends them to the view element. So if I do list values here, forget about view this and just put list values, it's going to output all the values that are in the string. And you would think that it's going to put value, Tony the Tiger, this is a Boolean key, second value, but you're going to be completely wrong. See, so now we're just going to call this values, save it, and let's reload. And as you see here, second value, Tony the Tiger, this is a Boolean key. Now, second value was the last one, but since I said before, you can override the keys. So since this was called first, and now I called this again, I set the same key, it replaced the first value with the last value. So that's cool. So let me call this or remove this stuff. Also, talking about list value, within this function, you can use the for of. And within the for of loop, and within the for of loop, you have map.values. You can also do map.keys, which will list out the keys of it. So obviously the 0 tiger false 0, it will list that out if I actually changed it. Matter of fact, I should try to do that within the last example. Okay. So in the last example, we have something. Now, what is something? Something is a function. If you look up here, I created a function called, it just calls console.log. This function does something. But it also has a value. So if I do map.get, first thing call view this and do map.get and put something. Let's see what happens when we basically call the function. We reload it, and it says this is a function's key. It just outputs the value because the value had this is a function key. But if I call the function, let's see what happens. Oh, what the heck did I just do? Okay, let's see what happens. Let me save this, and also let me get the inspector out here, and let me reload it. You get undefined. You get undefined. However, if you look into the inspector, the function is called. So the thing is, you can assign keys. You can make a key a function. You can make a key an object. You can have an object literal and assign it as a key. But you can also assign it as a value as well, which is very interesting. The thing is, if you try to call the function with the map.get, it will call the function, but it's not going to output the value at all. So that's cool. Well, it's not really cool. It's whatever. But let me show you the thing I was talking about earlier about list values. Now in the previous example, it just lists out all the values, and I'll show you. Let me just show you again. Okay, you see second value to the target, the Boolean key, there's a function key. Now, I was talking to you earlier about there is another property, well, I guess another method called keys, which will list out the keys, and I just want you guys to see this. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with a function. I actually never tried it with a function. Maybe we'll just list out the function. As they do that, that would be pretty cool. Let's see what happens. I think it's called keys. Yep. So you see here, it lists out 0 tiger false, and it actually lists out the function, which is actually pretty fucking cool. I shouldn't have cursed, but it is what it is. In any case, yeah, that is map.get, map.set. Essentially, it is a object that contains key value pairs, and also it has the ability to do a lot of things that arrays can do, like methods like for each. That's another thing I forgot to talk about. So let me just do map. Let me just do for each for example right now. I think this is how you do it. And you have a function here. where it's like the element and the index or whatever, and I guess that would technically be the key. And oops, did that work? Yeah. Okay, function element. So let's see here. What can I do? Why don't I just output this to the console.log it, or something like that. Console.log element, which is pretty much the value. Let me put a value here. Well, whatever. So let me do that again. This should go back to default. But within the console, you see second value, Tony target, this is a Boolean key, this is a function key. So this is cool. So you can use methods that are usually linked to arrays and use it for maps. This is something that you can't really do for object literals. In any case, this is like 11 minutes too long, so I'm going to end it right here.